What's up, Potato Team? Before we jump into this story, I want to remind you to drop us a comment down below. We will be replying to some of your comments at the end of each video, so to find out if yours made the cut, you gotta stay tuned. In the news today, we're talking about how Canada just legalized prescription heroin. The new drug regulations are aimed at heroin addicts who've tried every other option to quit their addiction. Those who can't seem to kick the bad habit will possibly be prescribed a pharmaceutical-grade heroin, which is supposed to help the user slowly stop altogether. Justin Trudeau, Canada's current Prime Minister, is the leader of the Liberal Party, which is usually compared to the Democratic Party in the US. Previously, Conservatives, which are best compared to as Republicans in the US, had run Canada under the helm of Stephen Harper from February 2006 to November 2015. Trudeau, whose campaign was run around the idea that he'd eventually be the one to legalize and regulate marijuana, didn't seem to make a big deal of this whole heroin thing. Some even seem to think the Canadian government was trying to hide it from the public. With that being said, although Canadian health officials didn't make an official announcement, there was a notice that was published on Canada Gazette, one of the government's official publishing sites. The idea behind this, aside from the obvious of hoping to eventually rid addicts of their addiction, is to reduce crime rates and allow users to at least be safe. By getting the users off the street and supplying them with a drug they literally need to live, some think it will reduce street crimes such as robbery and even assaults. Now, just to clarify, this doesn't mean anyone could walk into their doctor's office in Canada and ask for legal heroin. It may actually be difficult for doctors to prescribe this drug, considering how dangerous and highly addictive it is. The whole point behind this is to be an absolute last resort type option, meaning after someone has tried everything in their power to help the user, then they will prescribe the medical heroin. Other programs which prescribe users with such drugs as methadone, however, people believe that the methadone is nowhere near the high heroin users get, which will eventually lead heroin users to stop attending programs and go back to street heroin to get their fix. The point of this movement is to stop that from happening and allow heroin users to get their high, all while under the supervision of trained professionals. Although some people may not be on board with the idea, I for one can say I think it's a great idea. To prove this theory, the Crosstown Clinic, located in Vancouver, BC, where heroin is a serious problem, opened up about 10 years ago and has helped tons of patients. The clinic actually gives injections of heroin to addicts up to 3 times a day in hopes to control the addiction, much like what Trudeau is hoping to do. Some think the clinic's rules are a little extreme, considering how some people need to find a way to get to the clinic up to 3 times a day, regardless of what is going on in their day-to-day life. Failure to do so could actually get you kicked out of the program. However, according to a report by the Washington Post, the dropout rate for this program is quite low, and the patients seem to be interested in making a drastic change in their lives. So here's to hoping that Canada could reduce the amount of heroin addicts in general and help those in need. Maybe we could even be the start of a change to the American drug policy. And now it's time to read your comments, peeps. In a video we did about the Canadian judge who told a sexual assault victim to keep her knees closed, you guys left me a ton of comments. Up first, Morgan the Tactician said, "I like Jared." Thank you so much. I like all my fans, and as I mentioned before, we really do appreciate your support. Clouded Minds wrote, "Sorry doesn't fix it, fire him right now." Gonna have to agree with you on that one, regardless of what his story was. He's not from Canada, he didn't know the laws. He's a judge. He should have some sort of sympathy and compassion to tell a sexual assault victim in front of a courtroom of people that she should have kept her legs shut. Like, come on, man. Nicole Barr said, "Some people sicken me." Much like my previous comment, it's just, when I first heard the story, I really couldn't even believe it. It's yet to be determined what has happened to that judge, but again, we will keep you guys up to date as always. I hope you enjoyed the video. My name is Jared. Leave me a comment down below. You may be featured in the next one.